AI techniques. Like, for example, author Lee's review talked about AI method, but systematically, like no clear methods for how papers were even selected. A few reviews were domain specific, only about smart grids or only about healthcare. And I'm looking at another author review whose name was Dialect et al., which is no clear criteria reporting. So the gap is simple. Nobody has mapped the whole AI for cybersecurity landscape systematically across the decade. Now coming on to the methodology, there's a review process. So how did they fill the gap? They followed an established systematic review protocol, like it's three phases. The first phase is planning, where they defined their review questions using something called goal question metric approach and their search strategy and inclusion criteria upfront. Coming on to the second phase, conducting, they actually searched the IEEE and ACM digital libraries, selected studies, and three separate reviewers accept data independently, so no single skewed results, meaning no single data. Now, third, coming on to the documenting in synthesized job. Four team members drafted the protocol separately, merged it, and then had it reviewed by an external cybersecurity expert before they even started searching. That's a real effort to reduce the bias. Now, coming on to the search and selection slide. Here's what they actually turned up with. They started with 1,145 candidates studies, 857 from IEEE and 277 from ACM Digital Library and 131 from the final primary studies. But not everything is qualified. They are only kept peer-reviewed journals, no conference papers, no tutorial, no short papers, and etc. Specifically because journal articles go through more external rounds of review, which means higher quality reviews. They are also required that the title suggests AI applied to a cybersecurity topic and the abstract actually discuss. There are two keyword buckets on the right, one for intelligence side, AIML and deep learning, and one for security side, search phrases. Now coming on to the next slide, the four review questions with those 203 studies. Q1 and ROQ2 are quantitative and what those AI methods are being used for, like what impact has AI genuinely had and where should future research go. Keep these four questions in mind because basically, now coming on to the publication trends. The public's a pretty striking story from 2001, maybe two per year. Then things starting to peak over around 2014 and 2016 onward. 2017 and 2018 alone, the field literally doubled from 28 studies to 57 studies. So, fast accelerating field. Most of what we have been learned in the past couple of years. So now coming on to the next slide, where these 131 studies, 52 per margin, and editorially access and IEEE transactions on the information forensics and security together account for 45% of every single paper in this review. That's less authors flag as a real concern, but the missing perspectives and that aren't getting submitted or getting any info into. So coming on to the domains are actually being used for. Over 50 distinct algorithms showed up across these 131 papers, but a small handful will clearly dominate. Support vectors machine, for example, SVM, is the single most common only used in 24 studies, grew exponentially from 2000 well state of the art for IDPS. Yes. Then CNN and ANN comes the next with 14 in noting. In these 14 studies and didn't even specify which algorithm they used. That's a real gap in reporting that regard that the authors didn't even called out later. All this AI actually being anything else that completely dominates at 21%, barely gets any attention, just a few percent each. And one interesting thing is that at one interesting thing is that meaning like researcher in most cases never used them for encryption or DOS work. Even there are no obvious reasons why they couldn't. Now, the impact of AI on cybersecurity. So, coming on to the actual impact, did any of this actually work? Single IDPS study in the review reported improvement in false alarm rates, meaning a fewer false positive flagging legitimate traffic as an attack. For impersonation action, it's at that time, not now. Okay, so uh, beyond that, computational complexity came down thanks to the things like. So this is just the model training times is higher IDPS accuracy, CNN, and better image privacy protection. CNN option and that are being used were spectral still, like the four impli. So stepping back, what do this number actually mean? Like, what do these four things stand out to the authors? Like, what do these four things even seriously concentrated? Two journals, 45% of the field, feel that's a structural risk for the diversity of eye intrusion. So focusing the research, there are some knock-on benefits for the rest of the field. Three, and this genuinely surprised me, on detecting them gets the least of any domain. That's a real blind spot, if you ask me. And four, even though researchers keep arguing that single classifiers are in good and less popular over the time and not even used anymore, there's a significant gap between what the field says it believes and what it actually does. Now, coming on to the limitations and the validity, the authors are transparent about this mapping and that what the study can't claim. Other database make it in greater. This quality might not exclude a cutting edge work still circulating at conferences. The only journal sample provides a risk towards the source, and even with a 4% removed. So the takeaway is these are well supported patterns within IEEE and ACM, but not for a new key takeaways and future works that we get from this research paper. So to wrap this up, AI has delivered real and measurable gains for cybersecurity and training created in a handful of algorithms, mostly in one domain, published in a couple of journals from a handful countries. There are also a lot of headroom about that, like roughly 50 algorithms were identified, but most were used in fewer than two studies each. So there's an opportunity, and the authors call underserved areas like DDoS detection. That's the paper, and thank you. And I'm happy to take any questions, and I'm open.
I would thank Arkit for this nice presentation. But before going into the questions, which year?
Sir, this paper published in 2020.
2020. Okay, fine. So they have
Sorry, sir.
right that 18, right? 10 years.
Yes.
1 year. For every survey paper, why this survey tenure has been they have identified. Is there any justification, logical justification for that? Huh?
Sir, now coming on to the logical justification of this paper.
Why tenure? Specifically, I'm basically interested to know this tenure. Why to 10 years only, 2008 to 2018? Is there any cause? Means like my question is that, is it that the AI when it came on 2008 and they might be writing their report and all those in 2019, so that's why 2000 up to 18 they have considered, and then it got published in 2020. It might be. I'm not going into when actually they're surveying. It's a just last 10 years is an important one, or it is that the thing that logically, if you're talking about some particular such a topic, when the actual domain or subdomain started, that could be the logical. This is my justification. You cannot do that one. Okay, if they have done in that way, that is actually the wrong practice. What exactly they are telling?
So, sir, the study is now like 7 to 8 years old, and since then, a lot of things has changed in AI. But research is all about from 2008 to 2018, and then also they had 2 years before so they can change and improve this.
Questions. Now, what technology came and what exactly the changes, paradigm changes actually happened? That I'm not looking into that. My question is that why 2008? Is there any no such work prior to the 2008? Why not 2000? This is a logical question. No?
Yes, sir. So
Whenever this is 2008 and all those, but I'm basically telling always try to remember that that should be come with a logical justification why you are considering that year. Okay, so that actually the question we have faced many times, and we also raise that question whenever we are going for the review process of that kind of survey papers.
sir,
So that's
why
why
2008 they have
Eight.
targeted? So they
Yeah.
have targeted 2008 because from 2008 to 2010, as per my research on this paper, there's been only one published
Why?
study mentioned it that it came to a rise during the 2014 and 16 and doubled almost in 2017. So it is just only for IEEE or ACM, but not for all database across the websites. It's so
Okay, fine.
instead of picking of 2008 for a specific reason, they chose 2008 to 2018 for that particular gap only to show us the rise about the AI for
Yeah.
cybersecurity in
I
that
understand.
gap.
I understand. I
In
understand
that
that
gap.
one. But whenever we will be writing any survey paper like that kind of, so the starting year, and it would be chosen very carefully that you need to give a support that in this particular year or after this particular year, the people actually happened in this year, and these are the paper actually we found out in the literature. So that it
About their limitations. Their major fault is that they have only used IEEE and ACM digital libraries that doesn't cover almost all the database based on the AI and security. That's why in their DDoS detection part, they
Hmm.
have faced major issues.
Yeah. Yes.
For that only. If they have covered every bit of AI for cybersecurity paper, I don't think so there will be a flaw in this paper.
Okay, fine. Now, Utsav have some question. Utsav, I think first part of your question is actually already addressed. Second part of the question, why? What is the takeaway from it today? Is it the questions still for you? You have
Yes,
that
yes,
question?
yes, sir, yes.
Okay. Answer that question.
Um, so, Utsav, your question is why ensemble techniques use a lot of intrusion detection and malware detection. Am I correct? This part?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, okay, so ensemble techniques, as I have mentioned, ensemble techniques are dominant in the IDPS and malware phishing detection section. Like, think of it like several experts asking for an opinion instead of one. And like they combined their answers to get a more reliable results. The slide, if you have noticed the slide where I said that this is common when detecting intrusions for malware, but not really used for things like encryption or capture because the database becomes a massive headache if it becomes a clustered one and due to the all different researches and probabilities. This probably happens because like intrusion and malware problems are complicated and hardware to solve. But on looking on the other end, problems like captcha might not even have an extra complexity. It is actually a quite easy one to solve, where this one method is actually not good for. But here's the catch, like even though ensemble works well in these specific areas, this paper actually points out later that ensemble learning has becoming less popular overall, even though the researchers generally agree that using one AI method isn't a good enough. That what flaws their paper research paper. As I've said earlier to Sir, because of the lack in the databases and because they use only two well-known research paper sites, that is the ACM Digital Library and the IEEE. Hopefully, this answers your question.
Another one, what exactly he was asking that though the papers we have basically passed on, and a lot of many research actually happened during this particular period in this domain of cybersecurity, and that might have the a lot of work related to your AI related applications in cybersecurity and to ensure the higher end of security. So is still, do you find the paper is still relevant in the current scenario and what they are taking?
The paper gives us a good snapshot of what AI has done for cybersecurity. But if you are asking for the result, they have not even, at that time also, they have not even used that time's every database, only reliable, only
That could be
relying
their
on.
limitation. That could be the limitation. But what exactly they have done that particular survey, and I think they have given a lot of ideas with future directions and all those. Are those still relevant? What exactly they are telling, or it's not relevant? Why I'm asking this question? Because this particular survey paper, what exactly we are reading right now, after 6 years. Before 6 years, they have gathered so much paper and analyzed all those and finally filtered out and finally taken those are 150 around papers they have got for the
131
analysis.
studies, sir.
So that is a huge analysis they have done. Now, what their outcome they are giving, is it still relevant after 5 to 6 years?
Sir, if you are dividing the outcome in parts, like for different type of problems like malware, then for the malware part in a very good way, very good way that can be used in today's technology also. But coming on to the DDoS detection part, we already know that DDoS has become a very very major issue in today's cybersecurity attacks. And not
That
only
people
that,
are not doing, is it that something that people are not doing or not addressing the denial of service attack?
yes, sir.
But that particular attack is actually the serious attack, or it's basically in terms of the volume? What exactly I'm trying to understand.
Sir, if you are regarding for the research paper, then DDoS.
Not for the research paper. I'm just amount of time in the cybersecurity. I'm just trying to understand that if you just look into the recent statistics over the across the globe, is it that DDoS attack is a minimal one? It's to be not getting attention to the
yes, sir.
cybersecurity.
DDoS attack not only in this research paper, but I have seen in quite a lot research papers. Like in IEEE, during the research while making this PPT, I think I have saw hardly 2 or 3 research papers based on DDoS. So DDoS is quite an under-researched attack.
That is why I'm asking. Is it really DDoS attack is happening less? That's why the people are not getting interest, or it's not actually people are not able to address that one properly.
No, sir.
What is the reality? What is the reality? Well, means now I'm trying to understand that one. Now, is it that reality that DDoS attack is actually the less important? As that is why the other people are not actually interested to address that point? Or DDoS people, why not the people are not writing the work and they are not, why not
yes,
they are actually addressing?
Yes, sir, because right now people have people have not even understand fully about the DDoS, like what the DDoS.
That's the
what
core.
the DDoS does and in what ways it harms our security and day-to-day life security. So DDoS in not only in this research paper, but in the whole world right now is currently in under-research state, because DDoS happens. If you are asking about the occurrence of DDoS attacks, then DDoS attacks happens like frequently. Even we are talking right now, somebody is getting a DDoS attack. This might also happen. Then website outages like service disruptions, botnets flooding the servers, that kinds of thing.
So that means what you find over here in this, or more than that amount of time, you have understood that the DDoS is important one, And the people might not be an important
Yes, sir.
topic to
Yes,
be
sir.
work over there. Okay, so what exactly I suggest those who are actually working in this domain, you people take this particular point a very important one. Once such a particular important open problem is there, the people are not taking interest. So if you do the work properly, then it would be a very interesting work would be there. Okay. So mine majorly there are two highly oversaturated kind machine learning, deep learning. These are the major things, and extended to the your large language model. Mitra, did you have found any other kind of papers which are not using the AI but addressing the problem of cybersecurity?
Sir,
Hmm.
like other kinds of papers, like during the making of this, like finding this research paper, I have saw quite a lot of papers like that doesn't and even address the cybersecurity issues properly. Like
Okay.
for example, I out malware detectors and signature-based antivirus, like those with that scan the files and knows the bit pattern. Okay, so
Your inference means some particular criteria means I mean some rule-based techniques are being used. Is it that?
sir, actually, the techniques that are used in those paper are in 26.
Now, okay, fine. Now, what exactly I am basically trying to tell this forum over here actually works, and they are actually trying to address those work which are actually down the line with the current trend. Actually, in current trend, the AI is the trend. Okay, that's the thing, and the people are actually getting accepted their papers over there. But is it that actually the motto of research community to only to write the paper and getting accepted in the conference and the journals? Is it that only the
Actually,
that
they try to
right
they
now over problem actually I can tell you that this is of any specific tech trying that you require also some high-end device Mitra, you require the GPUs and you require the memories also but the training process that model one thing at that once actually you are doing the deployment of your system. Another thing, what exactly I think that over the period of time, as you have already talked, that the pattern of your attacks are actually getting changed. And every day the new attacks are coming. So that is actually you have mentioned the zero-day attack. Now, I think that the patterns will actually change over a decade. That would actually fade it out. Entire system running on that, your training is also huge amount of task and the costlier one. This entire thing is a very costlier affair, right? So giving a good result and everything else. One thing is very difficult. That means retraining is a very difficult process for us.
yes. Now, if we like large amount of quality data, not I say like
Exactly.
organized,
And
organized.
real time addressing the issues, means, unknown
Yes, sir.
issues,
Yes,
is
sir.
also very difficult.
It's often hard. Like new attacks are rare and well hidden, and so there are not always enough data to train on it. Now, the about the similar to what it has seen before. For example, a ChatGPT or Claude, we can also continue from the next chat. That memory storage thing is being used in here if 2024 for an bit actually.
Yeah. Actually, I have a domain risk, some technique of your social aspects in our malicious URL detection and so on that particular thing. Social aspects and that can be modeled very intelligently by now it's now in under review of our team work. So if once actually this particular thing will be published, I think the most costlier affair in the training that would not be required, and it would be simply a deterministic method. It would be there by which you will be able to identify that which one is the malicious and which one is actually the legitimate one.
Yes,
So,
sir.
and it would be in a real-time system, you will be able to and actually move into this
Yes, sir.
particular.
AI inside
Yeah,
done in the 2000 from 2000 discovered, and many things are
yeah.
left.
Means that's why actually I'm telling that this direction is I couldn't find the any work till date before writing my paper in this particular domain where actually in the cyber security I'm basically trying to explore the social aspects of their connectivities amongst the much more you can explore in the latter. Read this particular entire paper.
Like this issue is not
Yeah. It's a
like
multiple research.
yes also uh, attack. It's not even been properly addressed in this research paper only.
So we came to the end of this our today's session. It's a very
Sir,
interesting
I
discussion
still
with
have a
you.
question left.
Okay, you do.
Okay, my question is also somewhat similar to others. Basically, I wanted to know that during this period of time, 2008 to 2018, is there something this period of time aspect of that, or you mentioned DDoS, distributed denial of service attack.
Yes, yes.
Some of the major attacks were also in between 2008 to 2018. I actually prepared for one of my research paper. One was PAMOS, 2013. Is there something mentioned like about these attacks and some observations that how those were tackled?
Actually, Bhanu, this during this period, why the authors chose this period. So in this period, like the key trends were deep learning, and then modern deep learning from 2012, where usage barely appears in the early years. So right alongside the essentially captures the field transitioning DDoS attacks and the ACM digital. While this paper to 2018 itself, from beginning of the deep learning adoption, this is the transition phase for this research paper. They are not even like working on one thing, but doing multiple things at a time. That's what their limitations are.
Multiple things at a time, but didn't deep dive in any of them.
Yes, they didn't deep dive in any of the research paper. That's why they have not even like properly mentioned about the phishing attacks. And you already know, working in this sector, how phishing attacks can be crucial at this time.
With my side.
Anyone else?
You tell some research idea he is telling related to the AI for detecting the malware DOS variants. So it's
Yeah,
nice. That's nice.
I also thought about that, the
Okay,
DDoS
okay.
variant one.
So both of you jointly work on that. If any, coming to the end of this particular, first of all, we are talking about the cybersecurity in a lot in our reading session. I think we are right now in the 13th reading session. The information. So according now, out of it, 8 to 6 session on some particular of this particular reading session, and that is why in the upcoming day. I'll be declaring that which reading session will be targeted for which particular area of research. Okay. Well, let's say, for example, a particular will be switching for the other, so that it would be a good proportion of the every research access will be there. And in the next week's session will be a very important session for us, and specifically those who are in right now in the final year. Definitely you people will be joining the next day session, 15th August. I'll be telling that what are the different research axes and all those professors or so these are the two important. And also in the 15th of August there will be a session or workshop. It would be taken by in the current modern practice of doing the research using the some tools which are right now available, which actually can accelerate our research process. And finally, how actually the you need to go for the different the literature survey. 12:30. Probably it would be this particular period of time. It would be discussed, and one short break will be there, and one session will be first. He will be telling that one, and the next session he will be telling the other portions. Okay. And after this workshop, those who are actually registering, those who will be registering for this particular session, the students will be going will be getting a certificate of this workshop they have actually appeared for. Okay, so this will be the next week's session, and we will be telling regarding the entire different research access what we are going to explore more. And the last thing actually I'll be telling that in cybersecurity, the security of kind of different cybersecurity attacks and how actually we'll be addressing those, we are actually exploring in a more, and we are expanding it to the right now in the cyberspace, right? You know, these are different physical device access and the monitoring control. Okay, security of the cyber physical system. This is one thing. Secondly, in our in specifically for in India is now expanding, and it's going for a big infrastructure for your healthcare service, and how it is to be controlled and properly be managed. That is actually the another section. So healthcare data security and the healthcare data management is a big challenge. So we have expanded our work in that direction too. One of our final year project group is right now doing the research on this particular domain. Another one is that handling that is related to the system of a country is a very crucial one. The different things over there. So these are the domains actually. The will not related to the one another area. And in the next week's session, I'll be explaining in details in the this particular thing, and I ask every member that next annual general body meeting, and this is this help you to understand there. So everything else it will be discussed in the next. Take any more time over here, and I thank today's presenter, Arpit Chaudhary, and I come to this particular end of this session now, and thanks to everyone. So we can leave the session right over here. Thank you very much. Thank you.